Thank you very much, friends. How many people are there? Because I can't really see everyone. Wow, that's a big group this time. Okay, so um, we're going to talk today about many different things. Some of them are about breatharianism, but I think you guys already have the theory, so you don't need that much more information about it. What I want to focus on is manifestation and higher vibration. Now, you probably noticed that the world is changing. The world is changing for the better. We're beginning to create the heaven like planet that we actually want. And there's a lot of things that change with that. We are changing the type of conversations that we can have now with other people. For example, different topics we couldn't talk about 10 years ago. Vegetarian, aliens, conspiracy theories, health, all these type of things. Today, they're becoming more common knowledge. And not only common knowledge, people are actually looking at us, the freaks, the weirdos, the ones that are going to these weird pranic festivals to get them answers. And you are already the people who are trying new things. You're already on the border of normality. Now, what else is changing? Did you notice that time itself is shifting? I mean, the sensation of time. It means that today, the weeks, the days, the months, they go much faster than before. If you remember 10 years ago, you would remember what 5 minutes is, what a day is. Today, it's just push. Who knows what we did yesterday? And who cares, really? There's something else that is shifting, and that is duality itself. And when I mean duality, the 3D existence, our planet, our consciousness, which is right now focused in a very small beam of light into a one person in one planet in one time, it's actually transforming. So what we see is that men are becoming more feminine. We see women becoming more masculine, not in a negative way. We're actually seeing more unity and less abstracts. In other words, people who used to define things in black or white, the definition of things is becoming scattered, it's disappearing. So today it's more acceptable for, I don't know, for everybody to be accepted as truly they are. Plus the definitions themselves. Imagine what a breatharian definition is. Because we have the ego wants to breatharian, but we don't have a clear definition. The breatharian guides, all of them eat occasionally. So what is a true breatharian? Do we really need to be in the Himalaya mountains meditating all day? Or can we enjoy a meal every once in a while? The same thing with vegetarians. There's many vegetarians I know today that occasionally eat fish. So the definition itself of things is beginning to disappear because we're beginning to understand that there's much more between the black and the white of self-acceptance. The other thing that is changing is fear. Did you ever notice how much people are afraid? Afraid of change, afraid of what they're going to tell about us, afraid of not being successful or not having enough money in our bank, afraid of not being good looking. And that is changing towards love. It's actually shifting. There's a higher vibration that's coming our way. It's not different than the seasons in the planet. In other words, you have spring, you have winter, you have summer. The Milky Way galaxy itself is built in a way that our planet is moving into an area that has higher concentration of light and vibration. That is affecting our sun is affecting our planet, and then everybody has to go through this together. Everybody. It just takes a little more time. Now imagine this. If every human being is one cell in one huge body, Have you ever noticed that the whole body, it doesn't require every cell to accept the change? The only cells in a human body that are making the decision are the brain cells. The brain tells the heart to beat, the brain tells the body where it needs to go, and all the other cells, they have no option. They have no ability to express themselves. They have to do what the whole body is doing. So the same thing happens with humanity. There is a very small amount of people who are now moving humanity into a higher vibration. Those people are scattered all over the place, all over the world. Those people are the light workers. Light workers, some of you are the light workers themselves. You might have felt very different as a child, like you don't belong. You might have you already feel that something is weird here. Something is off in the world. A lot of us come from different planets. Our incarnation, our soul has come here to help, to assist the transformation in the ascension process itself. And that's why we feel so that, like in the beginning, that we don't belong. But that's just a phase. Another thing that is changing for the better is that there is a self-exploration that is becoming a self-complete acceptance. In other words, before we are seeking spirituality, we are seeking answers. We are interested in the things that are beyond, you know, aliens and entities into a place of complete knowingness, a complete surrender. And in that place, there's only one time, the present moment. The present moment is so powerful that we're actually creating our future and our past in the present moment. And this might confuse some of you because it seems like we are living in a linear world where there's a past, there's history, there's experiences that happened. How can it make sense that everything is happening just in the now? But look at a cat, look at a baby, look how much they are only in the now. And look, have you ever asked yourself why little kids are never hungry? Why their mother always has to chase them around the room and tell and complain that they're not hungry and they don't eat enough? Because they don't need a lot. Because when you are in the now, that is the highest vibration you can ever have. But truly in the now, you have already felt it in your life. Because when you were in love, you were in the now and you weren't hungry. When you were enjoying your job, you were in the now, excited about the project. You were so much in the now that the whole day went by and you completely forgot about food. All you had is that, yes, I'm doing something exciting. And then we matured and then we grew up and then we forgot about how exciting life can actually be. And then we started taking for granted the person that is next to us, our partner, or our job. And then we started complaining and gossiping and looking at the negative instead of the positive in life. And all of those things completely reduced our vibration. And all of those things kept us in the ego and in the mind. And then we just couldn't be in the now because the ego wants control. The ego thinks about the past and the ego thinks about the future. What do I want? When am I going to get what I want? Why didn't I get what I want yet? When you're in the now, the future doesn't matter. When you're in the highest vibration, you accept everything as it is. You don't need to be grateful for the big things that you have in life. You begin being grateful for the small things, for being next to a beautiful flower, for being able to enjoy someone's laughter, for taking a human form for a very short journey on planet Earth to help. And then all the things that you defined as suffering, they completely disappear because it was just a game, very short, temporary game. Instead of seeking spirituality, when you are in the now, you're in the knowingness that you are a spiritual being with unlimited potential. So how do we get to this higher vibration? I can tell you that the topic that we talked about today when I talked to Nicholas was about mind mastery. And mind mastery starts when we always ask questions. Only questions, no answers. The answers will come naturally from the higher self. So I wake up in the morning. I don't feel very good. Why? When I ask why, there's so many things that open up. Am I not happy with my life? Did I not sleep well last night? Am I not happy with my body? And then again, you ask yourself why. Okay, I had a judgment in my mind. I was in the road, someone caught me in the car, and suddenly I say, motherfucker, why did he cut me? Why did I say that? Was it a program from society? Am I in a rush? Am I getting somewhere? And I'm afraid that I'm not going to get there. So when you start asking question after question every day, why did I think this thing? Why do I feel this way? Why am I still here when the conversation is very boring? Why do I see a movie and I don't walk away when I know it's a boring movie? Why do I stay all the way to the end? And then again, all these thoughts, they're going to have a purpose. And you're going to start asking yourself and doubting your mind. And you're going to become a mind master that understands that you are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are the consciousness, the higher consciousness that can evolve to something amazing that is without any thought, without almost any negative emotion. And I'm not saying you won't feel negative emotions. I'm saying that from taking hours to get over something bad, it will take seconds. It will be just one breath, total acceptance. And then you breathe it out and completely let it go. Imagine, Byron Katie says that all the suffering, all the human suffering in the world comes from the brain because we believe a story. Believe a story that we tell ourselves. We tell ourselves that we need something to be happy. We tell ourselves that our parents or our partner in some way did something to us, so we blame them. And you know what they say about blame. Blame is when you point somewhere in blame, you have three fingers pointing back at you. In other words, when I say, he has a big ego, I have huge ego, 3 times bigger. And some people even say one finger is for God. So think about that. Think about what it is. And when you see the questions that are going to come, for example, you are sitting in a discussion, you're talking with your mom on the phone, okay? Talking with your mom on the phone. Nobody likes to talk with your mom on the phone, right? They ask questions. That takes a long time. There's something inside us that wants to end it. Ask yourself why. Why is my relationship with my mother this way? Why is everybody's relationship with their mother this way? Why do I have more patience for my friends than to somebody that gave birth to me? And then again, the trauma will come up. Something that happened that you're still blaming your parents for, and you need to take responsibility for. Responsibility comes in 2 forms. The first is emotional responsibility. For example, somebody said something very bad at me. Somebody cursed me, okay? He said, that motherfucker. He said, that fat, ugly guy. He said something that hurt me in some way. Is it his fault or is it my fault? If I choose to be offended, or is it his fault and I'm blaming him for making me feel something? Because I am 100% responsible for every emotion I feel. 100%, not 99%. So there's no blaming other people for the way that we feel. Not the government, not our partner, not our parents. And the second level, and this is more of a spiritual thing. Imagine that there's two angels that are sitting in heaven, in between incarnations. So just before we be a baby and a human being and choose our path and choose our parents and what we're going to do here and what we're going to learn here. So the angels, they're without sex, not female, not male. And one angel comes to the other angel and she tells him, in this lifetime, I would like to experience deep negativity. I would like to be harassed sexually by someone. I want to see how it feels so I can learn from the experience. And the other angel, which is the first angel's first best friend, he says, okay, but in order for me to grow up to be the type of man that will offend you in some way, I have to grow up to be a kid that is molested, that my father maybe beat me up, that will grow up without love, that will have all this negative experience in my life in order for me to become the person that will help you fulfill your contract. Now, when you look at this objectively, even though in the dual way of thinking, we want to give this a negative aspect, we want to say, no, that doesn't make any sense. Why would God create this negativity in our life? But then we understand the second level of responsibility, which will bring you the highest vibration and the highest lessons. And that is everything that we endure, every synchronicity, every circumstance is our responsibility. We wanted it. We asked for it. We have contracts with people. We have contracts with mentors that we have to reach something very certain. So that means that everything that happens for a reason. And instead of just saying, why did that happen to me? Why is my life in the shit? Why don't I have enough money? Why don't I have a relationship? Ask yourself, what am I learning from this experience? I will give you an example from my life. I had three events. You know, in the beginning, when the universe, when God, or however you want to call it, is attempting to teach you a lesson, in the beginning, it's something very subtle, something very soft. In other words, the universe gives you a push. And then afterwards, when you don't listen to the push, it gives you a shove. And when you don't listen to that shove as well, then you get sick, then bad things start happening in your life, and you don't understand why, because there's a lesson that you're not learning. For example, if I'm a woman that keep dating the same type of guy that disrespects me, the same type of man that cheats on me and everything like that, why do I keep going to the same type of relationship? Is it because I don't love myself enough? There's a lesson to be learned. And once you learn the lesson, and this is the beautiful thing, you learn the lesson one time, and then the universe will never again teach you that lesson. That is called, by the way, raising your standards. And there's a difference between wanting something and raising your standard to know that you from now on will always have that thing. I'll give you an example. In 2013, I bought 26 Bitcoins. You probably heard about Bitcoin by now. What happened is that after about a month and a half, and I spent a lot of money for that. After about a month and a half, the exchange, the Japanese exchange that held about 90% of all Bitcoins in the world, actually broke down. And I was like, okay, I just put on my happy face. God is teaching me a lesson. I'm just going to smile, understand that it's just money, and let it go. And then after 2 months, 4 o'clock in the morning, I get a knock on my door. Police officers. I was like, police officers. I'm in my underwear. And they're telling me, are you Ray Maor? I said, yeah. What happened? They said, do you have any enemies? I said, no. They said, your motorcycle is burning. Now, motorcycle, it's not that the motorcycle like exploded or anything. They took me down and I saw that my motorcycle is on fire. And again, happy face. I told myself, great, what are the lessons I need to learn? First, I need to give up, I don't know, about 10,000 euros worth of money because there's no insurance. Second, I have to be patient now that I have to go to work on my bus. Third, I said, oh, this is a great opportunity to buy a new motorcycle that I always wanted. So I completely neglected anything that had to do with dealing with it emotionally. And then a third thing happened. I invested all of my money in a real estate deal and I lost all of it. Apparently, the people that did it were frauds, but even though my higher self, even though my guidance was actually sending me that way, everything felt like it is aligned. Everything was perfect. And then something happened to me. I got pissed off. And I'm not the type of person that is usually angry in any way. I told myself 3 times in 1 year, something here is not okay. And that was the universe telling me. And what was the lesson? Feelings. Now imagine this. You're losing a lot of money, again, because I'm Jewish and Jewish people, money is probably important for them. So the universe is teaching me through loss of money to deal with things on an emotional base because all I was mental. I was thinking, analyzing everything and put a happy face because this is what my mother taught me. She taught me when something is bad, just smile at the world and everything will be okay. No, 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 no. Deal with the emotion. As a man, we usually don't deal with the emotion. So I thought I'm happy. I thought I love life. And I neglected any negative emotion that came. But then when I discovered that I have to express it, I have to feel it, even if it feels bad, sadness, frustration, jealousy, fear, everything needs to be expressed. Then, so when I started expressing the negative emotions, immediately I felt much more the positive emotion, the contrast. And then with time, I learned that to let go of the emotion, it doesn't require a long time, but you have to be empty. You have to express. You have to let it out. Women know how to let it out much better than men. Men are taught to push the emotions down, to completely neglect them. And this is one of the ways you can get into a higher vibration. Express any emotion. Be your total self all the time. All the time. And eventually, the people that you are afraid, the people that you want to impress, the people that you are pretending to be something that you are really not next to them, when they will see that you are who you truly are, and you are in this high vibration, they will appreciate it much more. And you will appreciate it much more. You will feel authentic. You will feel like you have absolutely nothing to hide, not from yourself and not from the world. I don't know if I can share. I want to share with you guys something. Okay, here, share screen. I want to show you. Not this. Voila. Can you see this? Go like this. Good. This is a scale. No, you can't see it. How about now? No. Wait. Can you see this chart thing? So this is the distribution of the vibration of every emotion. Now, I want you to look at the numbers. The numbers begin at 20 and they finish at 1000. And this is actually the levels of consciousness. Now, notice something very odd. The negative emotions are under 250 and the positive emotions are above. So you can actually see that in the world of manifestation and vibration, it is easier to feel something that is positive than it is to feel something that is negative. In other words, you are hurting yourself less when you're feeling something bad. Now ask yourself, in your life, how do you feel most of the time? How do you feel at work? How do you feel with your family? How do you feel on a day-to-day basis? And then you'll understand where your vibration is most of the time. Look at this. All the negative emotions, guilt, grief, fear, negative desire, anger, pride, and now the positive emotions, acceptance, reason, love, joy. Can we honestly say that we feel love and joy all of the time? And if not, then why? Are we still working in a job that we enjoy? Are we still waking up in the morning next to someone that we really, really love and are still affectionate about, and we're not judging them all the time? How much do we love ourselves, for example? How much do we love the things that we don't love ourselves for? How much do we accept the fact that we are not perfect and it's okay? Did you ever notice that the more we want something, the more it eludes us, the more it's hard for us to get it because we're actually chasing after it? In the world of manifestation, there is a difference between wanting something and letting go of the acceptance of the fact that we might not get it. For example, when Jesus Christ came to heal someone, he didn't come and say, "Oh, I'm the biggest healer in the world. I'm just going to touch you. And the Lord, God's energy is going to move through me immediately, healing." No, he came and he put his hand on someone's head and he said, "Maybe and maybe not, I will be able to heal you. But I totally accept the fact that it will be a maybe. If it will be a yes, that means I want it too much. If it will be a no, it means it comes from fear and from doubt, and I won't be able to heal." So there's a balance. There's a knowing that the person will heal, and with a balance of understanding that we have to let go of the expectation to receive it. And that's the beautiful part. So I want us to do an exercise. Let me see how I can cancel this thing. Voila. I'm back. Okay. I want you to close your eyes and just listen to me. You don't have to go into a meditation, just listen to the words. So just take one last big breath in and let everything go out. Now I want you to imagine there is one thing that you really want in your life. It can be an object, it can be a person, it can be an experience. One thing. I want you to define it very well. Know what it is that you really want. See it in your eyes. And now I want you to feel how the energy of that thing feels. How it feels to have that one thing that you desire. An energetic vibration. Don't see it as a thing. I want you to feel it as an energetic vibration inside your body. This is very important to you because this is the first thing that came to your mind that you want. And now that you feel how the energy of that thing feels, I want you to feel the opposite. How does the energy feel of not having that thing in your life? How does it feel to lack it, to want it because you don't have it? Does it have a color? How does it feel in your body? Is it uncomfortable in some way? And now imagine that there is another universe, a parallel universe, that everything is exactly the same. Exactly the same. Every person, every planet, every animal. And the only difference is that in that parallel universe, you have that thing. You have it. You are living it. You are enjoying it every day. That thing, that person, that experience, that character change, anything that you wanted, they are living it 100% and they're enjoying it so much. Now, I want you to bring the person that you are in that parallel reality. It is exactly you. And the only difference is that they have that thing that you desire. And I want you to ask them to please copy their energy. Copy their energy into your body. And of course, because it is you, you accept with love, you want you to be happy. And you can put your hand on their shoulder or you can hug them. And I want you to feel that you are actually moving energy from their body into your body. You are copying their energetic vibration. Breathe it into your body. You can imagine it moving in different colors. Feel how that energy is entering every cell and every organ in your body. And you're slowly full, and you can slowly really feel that everything has been copied and you're exactly identical to the person that they are, your other self in a parallel universe. And now I want you to ask yourself, has the feeling, the sensation of not having that thing, has it changed even a little bit in your body? And you can open your eyes. Now, this exercise is called the parallel universes visualization. And most of you, I can already know, most of you have felt a shift, a change, even if it was the slightest change. Some of you have felt a huge change. And that is because the universe is only a mirror. It only reflects back our strongest ideas, desires, intentions. And that is really the beauty of it. And that means that the change, we think that the change needs to be done in the outside world. We think that in order to get more money, we need to go and find a better job or become an innovator, instead of understanding that the change begins, 80% begins inside ourselves. The people who have the most amount of money or best jobs or all these people, they're not the smartest individuals in the world. They are the ones that believe in themselves the most in the world. And because they believe in themselves, eventually that beliefs become a reality. And that is because the job they did is internal, inside, and then it changes towards the outside. And it's easy to understand this. When you have a high vibration, you already know synchronicity happens all the time. Synchronicity is those things that we think are arbitrary, those things that we think are random, they suddenly begin happening. We suddenly see that yesterday's dream becomes today reality. So I want us to do an exercise. And this exercise is going to do in partners, in twos. And you can do it in your own language, so you don't have to, worry about English or anything like that. If you did it last year, This year, the exercise is going to be even more powerful. And it's fun. It's just fun. And you're going to see how it raises the vibration inside the tent where you are. This exercise is called a year from now. And each person is going to have 7 minutes to tell the other person about the best year of his life. But he is talking about that year a year in the future from now. In other words, the year that starts tomorrow, a whole year is passed, and you are describing and remembering the best year that has already happened for you. Now, I want you to let go of any limitation. In other words, go crazy. You have all the money that you want in your bank account. You can visit Tahiti and Hawaii and any island. You can go onto any excursion. You can sleep with anybody that you want. Everything that you actually want and desire in 1 year. Go crazy, okay? But there's one rule that you cannot do, and that is you cannot do something that your subconscious will not accept. For example, you did not become a chicken, you started laying golden eggs, for example. So everything that is feasible, everything that is possible, you have done. But remember, you're not creating, visualizing, imagining. You are remembering this year. This year has already happened. So when you're remembering, you're going to be excited about it. You're going to connect between your mind, which is the visual part, and your heart, which is the part that feels the excitement, the love, the different things that you did. Now, your partner, again, everyone is going to have 7 minutes, and I will tell you when to switch to the other. Your partner can ask you questions if you get stuck. For example, oh, you went scuba diving with sharks in Hawaii. How was the weather? You fell in love. Where did you get together? Does everybody understand? If you don't have a partner, please raise your hand so somebody else can find you in the room. And the one that starts is the one that has longer hair. Okay? You can start. No, no, I'm here. Ah, perfect. Okay, time to switch. Let the other person talk. Okay, time to switch. If you haven't switched, let them know. Okay, time to end the exercise. Okay, give your partner a big hug. Tell them thank you for listening to me. Big hug. Okay, so anybody want to tell me why we did this exercise? Come closer, come to the machine and speak English. Why did we do this exercise? Why else did we do this exercise? First, how do you guys feel? How did the exercise make you feel? Okay, good. So let's yes. How was your year? Ah! Okay, I'll tell you because I think we have some communication issues. So first, this exercise combines our visualization, our power of the mind, our thoughts, and our heart, our emotions. So these two together trigger a higher vibration. Second is that we have seen what we really want. Now, we don't have the chance in our life to ever imagine, like a small child, what is it that we really want? If we don't have any problem with money, and we don't have any problem with time, and we don't have obligations, marriage and a job and family and all these things, what do I really want? And in this exercise, you had only 7 minutes to express what is that you desire, what you think you would have wanted to do. The third thing, except for giving yourself clarity, because a lot of us, we are not clear about what it is that we want. The third thing is that now that you thought about it, you know it. In other words, your mind understands what you want, and it can create a potential future that will end up bringing you what it is that you desire. Now, notice how your energy shifted, and notice how the energy inside your tent is different now. You're much more lighter, you're much more childlike. You're thinking about, oh, I was so excited, because the brain does not know the difference between visualization and something that actually happened in life. That's why you're so excited. That's why it's so much fun to do this exercise. And I do it almost all the time. But you have to think, what is it that I want? And am I clear about it? A lot of people, for example, they ask me, how do I manifest the perfect relationship? So you begin by making a list of what it is that your perfect partner should actually have. And you're actually, when you're doing this list, it makes you think about it. It makes you think about what it is that you don't actually want. Make a list of your ideal job. Make a list of the ideal relationship that you would like. And you will see that once you start looking at this list, you'll begin thinking. You'll begin becoming more clear with what it is that you actually desire in this life. I mean, ask yourself, how much time from the time that I am awake do I do the things that I enjoy? Do I spend enough time with people who give me energy and don't take away my energy? Do I balance giving and receiving in my life? Because a lot of us, we give too much without receiving anything. And some of us cling on, and energetically we're taking other people's energy. Once you see that the answer to how much time do I actually spend doing things that I enjoy is under 10%, make it your life's mission to start doing the things that you enjoy. Some people change their job, some people change their relationship, some people go back to what they used to do. Why do we cling on to the type of food that we had in our house when we grew up? It's because there is an emotional desire that comes with whatever our mom used to cook, whatever our grandmother used to cook. It's all emotion. It's not even the desire of the body itself. And when you understand all these things, you become more aware. You become the one that observes your consciousness. Now, the consciousness always shifts. We are never in one place. When we are meditating, our consciousness goes up to the astral. When we are sleeping, we're doing the same. When we are in a bad energy, negative emotion, we're actually going down into fear. Imagine a very simple exercise. Remember one very excruciating negative experience you have, or someone that you really don't like, someone that you used to have in your life that you really didn't like. And then think, what do I feel like eating? And then think about someone that you love, someone that gives you a lot of energy, someone that you want to be next to, someone that you enjoy hugging. It can be your partner, it can be your child, someone that you really love. And then ask yourself, what do I feel like eating? You will notice that when you were thinking about a negative experience and you were really feeling it, you felt like eating chocolate, you felt like eating pasta or things that are heavy, things that are emotionally giving you like a patch, a very short but a very powerful taste. But when you were thinking about someone that you love, someone that you enjoy, someone that gives you energy, you either thought, I don't feel like eating at all, Or you thought about maybe I'll have a fruit, like a banana or an apple or something light to snack. Because I did use NLP to put an affirmation in your mind that makes you want to eat something, because I'm asking you, what do you feel? It's not the body that is actually asking for it. You are the consciousness that is the body's spirit guide. You are the observer. You are not your ego. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are a temporary construct that was created by your higher self to serve a purpose of expanding God's creation. And when you perceive yourself as such, as just one of many, you stop playing the game of separateness, the fact that we are not together, and you start playing the game of unity. And I want to share with you, how do we do this? Voila. Now, this. You can see this, right? Yeah. Now, what we see here, the little circle at the bottom is the physical body. On the top, we can see the higher self or the universal self. And in between, there is ways that we can actually communicate with the higher self. Now, let's define just for a brief second what the higher self is. Imagine that there's a part of you that has already been to the future, a part of you that is guiding you, a part of you that knows which people you should and shouldn't have in your life, a part of you that knows which business venture you should go on, where you should live, what conversation you should have. The higher self is that angel that is sitting on your shoulder, that knows everything that you're going to experience and allows you to experience the bad things and the good things. Is the imagination. Like the exercise that we use. Do you remember when you were kids and you started masturbating and you understood that in order for the body to have a reaction, you need to visualize, you need to fantasize about someone that you're attracted to. And only by visualizing, only by using your imagination, the body will create the hormones, will create the sexual desire. Without it, it will not work. But we are human beings and we think that we are unlimited. But what if I tell you that the imagination is limited? Try to imagine a color that doesn't exist. And you will be stuck. So the first thing is imagine. Now, when did we stop imagining? When we grew up. When society has taught us the rules of the game, when our parents taught us words. Before we understood words, our imagination was limitless because we didn't have a definition of everything. Now the inner dialogue, we always talk to ourselves with words. So we are already limiting ourselves. So the first way is imagination. For example, imagine that you are going to a job interview and imagine the best absolute outcome for that interview. Imagine that you are living a breatharian life that is easy, that is fulfilling, that you're enjoying it. Just stop for 1 minute and just imagine. Imagine whatever it is that you would like to have, an object, a person, anything like that. And then the mind understands what it is that you want, because the imagination works in a higher vibration than anything that happens in the 3D world. Second tool, intuition. Now, do you know that feeling that you have when someone, say you meet somebody, say you go on a date, say you meet a new person, you're beginning a business together. You have an intuitive feeling about this person. Imagine that intuitive feeling is a negative one. But then you don't listen to it. Why? Because your mind, your ego, is telling you something else. Your ego interferes, And then your ego says, ooh, but she's so beautiful. Or, ooh, he's so well connected in the business world. Or your mind will always think about something to push down that intuitive feeling that you got. But then, after a few months, suddenly the relationship explodes, or the business partnership goes to shit, and something bad happens. And for a second, you remember that intuitive feeling that your higher self gave you. Because your higher self, it knows. And the only way it can communicate with you is by giving you a feeling. So you have a conversation with someone that you're not enjoying, that's the feeling that you should not be there. You're working a job and you start counting the hours after lunch until the time that you go to back home. It means that you're not enjoying. That's your higher self expressing itself through your intuition. Now, the older we are, the more we're connected with our intuition. For example, something doesn't work, we say, okay, we shouldn't struggle. The universe is sending me a signal. But the younger that we are, the more we listen to our mind, the more we think that we know. But actually, we don't know, right? If 5 years ago we thought that we believed something, we thought that we were in the best job, that we know ourselves, and today when we look back at ourselves 5 years ago, we make fun of ourselves. Today we think we know who we are, we have the best relationship, we have the best job. And what will happen 5 years from now? 5 years from now, we will make fun of the person we are today because everything shifts, everything changes all the time. So we said imagination, we said intuition, and the last one is will. When I mean will, I mean our focus, our intention. The intention is very different than wanting something. I can want to be in good shape, but do I intend on exercising a few times a week? I want to go to the gym, but I don't expect myself to actually do it. I want to have a better job. I want to be a better father. I want many, many, many different things, but it doesn't mean that I'm actually going to do them. But when I intend on doing something, I'll give you an example. If you intend on buying a new house, then you'll actually have to go and start looking for it, start saving up money, stuff like that. If you intend on being a breatharian and doing an initiation, for when people sign up for my initiations, the first question I ask them when they come to the initiation is, has your life changed and your relationship with food changed ever since you actually paid the deposit for the initiation? And 99% of them say yes. And why? Because your body, your consciousness, your higher self, they know that you signed up and they begin preparing you for it. So suddenly you don't feel hungry. Suddenly you want lighter foods if you're going to eat. And suddenly you lose the weight that is the detox, the toxins are coming out. All that only from your intention. How about this? When you dry fast, when you water fast, how many days do you intend on doing it? If you intend on doing it 4 days, after 2 days, your mind will start telling you, oh, okay, it's going to end pretty soon. Let's end it already. If you intend on doing it 7 days, after 5 days, your mind is going to come and start talking to you and say, but it's all in your intention. Imagine how powerful your brain is. Have you ever had that you woke up 2 minutes before your alarm clock? That you wake up and you see your alarm clock and it says, "Oh, it's 2 minutes or 5 minutes till the time I wake up," and you tell yourself, "Oh, what a coincidence!" It's not a coincidence. Your brain is a genius, and it knows that you hate the alarm clock, so it wakes you up 2 minutes before. That's how genius it is. And I can give you a lot of different examples of how much powerful your brain is and how much we're not using it in the right way. You understand? Yeah, I think you understand. So, my friend, I would like you guys to ask any question that you have about any topic, about manifestation, about high vibration, about the initiations that we teach, about Breatharian lifestyle. Because I'm trying to always balance. I'm a very grounded person. I'm very scientific oriented, but I'm very spiritual as well. I keep my 9 to 5 job. I work as an IT engineer. And I believe that the best way to be breatharian is to really learn how to balance the spiritual side of life with the regular Western side of life, like to have a high vibration, but we're not the type of people who will go and meditate in the Himalaya mountains for years. We have a job, we have a relationship, we have responsibilities. So it makes sense to find the right balance and don't expect too much of yourself. Take it easy. Life is about enjoying everything. The more you expect something to be a perfect Breatharian, the harder it's going to be for you because there's an expectation. And where there's an expectation, there is a definition of success and of failure as well. So if somebody wants to ask a question, I would ask you please come to the laptop and so I can see you. And then I can actually get a sensation through what you say, what you actually mean.
Hi. So I've been watching your videos, but I would like to know what type of breatharian you are. Are you eating, drinking anymore? Because it seems like compared to when you started, you've put on some weight, and I'm very preoccupied with losing weight. So please enlighten us on this.
Sure. In the first year, I didn't eat anything at all. I believed that if I would start eating, I was actually afraid because there were not a lot of breatharians back then. I was afraid that I would be hungry. And then I was only drinking about a glass or 2 glasses of juice in the days that I wasn't fasting. After the first year, I started eating about 2 meals a week, and this is what I eat today. About 2 meals a week. If I'm abroad, sometimes I eat a little bit more. When I'm at home, I don't eat it almost at all. I don't like to eat not breakfast, not lunch. Very rarely I do eat dinner. Yeah, that's it. I don't count calories anymore or anything like that. Usually I eat between 1 or 2 meals a week, and it will always be a dinner with my wife because it's a social thing. I exercise quite a lot, and in the beginning I did lose weight. I lost weight for about 6 months. I lost about 10 kilos. Also lost a lot of muscle tissue. Today, because I exercise much more, and because after the first half a year, my body actually learned how to take more and more prana. And then again, something shifted. I don't know how many of you guys are already breatharians, but there's a point that you actually start feeling that you have more and more energy, and you start adding weight until what we call your ideal weight. But like you, I can't add any more muscle tissue. So it doesn't matter how much I exercise. I feel like I'm stuck in the same weight for a few years now. It takes some time. When I do exercise, what I learned from Bashar is that you need to breathe into the muscle that you're exercising. So the more you are in tune with being in the present moment, and the more you learn how to control your breath and take full consciousness breath, then you're actually going to add weight. And the more you think that you're going to lose weight, and the more you're afraid of losing weight, then you're going to lose weight. Because what happens is that you're actually not trusting the process and you're not trusting creation. So you're actually creating fear and doubt, and then that makes you lose more weight. It happened to me as well. And my mentor, the guy that taught me, he told me, Ray, if you're going to think about it, then you're going to lose more weight. What you need to do is accept the fact that you're going to be skinny, like a skinny Indian. And I was. And when I completely accepted it and I hit the bottom, I went down as much as my body could, only then I don't care. I'm going to be like this my entire life and it's okay. And then I slowly, gradually went up. And to what I am today, I haven't changed my weight in about 5 years now. But you should know that I no longer believe in extremity. In the beginning, the breatharians, we thought that we should all stop eating and stop drinking. Today, I believe much more in the balance, much more softer with myself, much more understanding that you can enjoy both worlds. I mean, why do we want to become breatharians? It's an experience. It's a profound step up in your spiritual practice. You learn how to deal with society. You learn that everything is energy. You get downloads, and in meditations are much easier. There's all these advantages, which are the reasons why you live this way. But then there's life itself. I mean, if you're no longer hungry, then when do you choose to eat? Why do you choose to always say no? So if my mother comes to visit from abroad, sure, eat with her, but I will also say no to many things. Many times my friends go out to restaurants. I want to join them for the experience of being with them, but I don't want to eat with them. So I kind of like learned how to navigate these things, how to navigate between saying yes sometimes and saying no most of the time. And because I still don't feel hungry and I still have a lot of energy, then it doesn't bother me that much. But I would say that the crucial time is the first 6 months. If you eat after the first 6 months, after initiation, something in your mind has really shifted and changed, and it's going to be much easier after. The problem is that most people, in the first 2 months, they kind of go back to eating, or their spiritual ego says that it's okay to eat, and then they kind of like break their whole process. You should try to last at least 2 months on just liquids, because the chewing itself, it creates a memory inside your brain of what food is, and then you easily go back to the old program. If you do an initiation with me, we're going to practice and talk about this quite a lot. I think that the most crucial part of the initiation is the integration itself.
Okay. Hi. Hi, Ray. Can you hear me?
Can you
Oh,
to your left a little?
can you hear me?
Oh yeah,
Can you see me?
I can. Yes.
Hi. I've kind of forgotten what my question was going to be, but I know it was to do with when you were saying about understanding whether people are draining your energy or not, or whether other, following your intuition about people and situations and whether it's good for you or not. And I think for me, I probably struggle to understand whether it's my intuition or whether it's my ego. If I feel uncomfortable in a situation, is it something that I need to face in myself, or is it that the situation is just not good for me? I think I find it hard to distinguish whether it's something I need to address for myself, or whether that
Okay.
person is.
So I will teach you something that will help you distinguish between the ego and the ego, which is the mind, and the intuition. If you ask yourself a question, the first thought, the first emotion that will come, it will be your intuition or your higher guidance. The second thing that will come will be the doubt and the fear, that is the ego. So for example, if you ask, am I in love with my partner? First thing that will come, yes or no, that's the truth. Second thing that will come is your ego. You want to be in love with your partner and you want to say yes. For example, again, we'll just ask a question that almost all of us can ask. Do I enjoy talking to my mother?
No.
So the first thing that will come is the truth, and that's our higher self saying yes. You know that you don't, but your ego wants to say yes. I'm a loving son, or I'm a loving daughter. I have the patience to always be there for them. You understand this trick?
Yeah.
So when you are in that situation, ask yourself, why am I here? Is there a lesson that I need to learn? Or is the lesson that I should walk away and not be here anymore? Or take some distance? Because, some people are like clouds. When they disappear, the sun comes out.
I was going to say as well, you said that, the older you are, the more in touch with your higher self you are. But I would say that children, really young children, are actually very in touch with their higher selves, and then they get taught not to be. They get conditioned to
Oh,
kind of.
I agree with you. I'm talking about after the age of 15, there is a struggle, because in the age of 15, we become like mature adults, and then we define ourselves by other people's expectation. And then the ego really starts to hold on. And then you notice somebody that is 60, 70-year-old, that's because they have a lot of experience. But the younger we are, the more affected we are from society. The more we dress up and try to impress other people and
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So, anybody want to
The
ask one
the
more
last
question?
the last one, the last question.
Hi, Ray. Can you see me okay?
I can.
Uh, First, I just want to say thank you so much for everything that you do and the bright light that you shine in our planet. It's much needed right now, so thank you very much. And my question is, I just wanted to get your point of view on the current evolution of the human species that is actually undergoing right now to the divine, back to the divine human blueprint or gold print. And I just wanted to, that many star seeds or light workers or even earth angels are beginning to go through this process. And if you thought that a Breatharian lifestyle can actually support this evolution.
That is a very good question. I used to believe, and then again, I used to believe that our ascension process will bring much more breatharians to all of humanity. And now I understand that it's a very small group of people that are light workers that have come from previous incarnations in societies that were already in an elevated vibration. And that is why the breatharians that actually come to these events, they uh, they already understand this. All they have to do is relearn something. But this is not for all of humanity. This experience, maybe in 200-300 years, yes. But in the coming decades, this experience is only for those that hear an inner calling to experience it. And there's a saying that if one in every 100 people would meditate, the world will change. I believe that if every one person in 1,000 will become a breatharian, the world will change. Because the vibration of the Breatharian is so high, not only because the body is so clean, but in order to hold on to this experience in the Western world, where people are still eating meat and killing each other and stuff like that, the experience itself requires a very powerful intention and a very powerful, persisting individual. And that individual has to think positive. Because again, you probably noticed if you're in and out of fasting and this experience, then whenever you feel bad or you feel like you're not satisfied from life or anything like that, you go running back to food. And so you have to keep on to a positive vibration. And it teaches you so much in a very short amount of time. Because you have to get rid of relationships that you don't enjoy. You have to leave a job because you no longer enjoy it. You have to exercise and do things with your body. It kind of forces you to do all those things. So yeah, I believe that for me, it completely changed my life. Completely. Before this, I was behind the computer. I didn't want to talk with anybody. Not that I'm antisocial, but the person that chooses computers is not the person that teaches lectures and workshops. After this, it opened up my femininity, my emotions, my connection to nature. I can chase a butterfly for an hour. I can try to talk to an ant. I do these crazy baby style things now that I didn't used to do because I didn't get. I was judging people who were hugging trees. Today I'm a tree hugger. So yeah, I believe that the future of humanity, and if you guys know Bashar said when I asked him, is an entity, is an alien that brings information. He said that in 50 years, about 10% of the population will be breatharians. So that's a long time, and that's like vegans and vegetarians today. So today the planet is around 10 to 11% vegetarians and vegans. So only in 50 years we will be more commonly known. It will be acceptable. It will be considered to be a normal practice. Like today, restaurants are offering everybody a vegetarian dish and stuff like that. So we have to wait and enjoy it. Our ego wants to be special. So when you become a breatharian, you do become special. You have a very unique life, and you can teach other people that mind really is over matter. Like because television has asked me so many times to come, and I try to do it for all of us. But I'm tired of being on television. Actually, I don't want to do any more experiments. I don't want to go on any more shows. I just wanted to prove to them that it's possible to do Breatharian is different than other people because he has made a shift and his body has to list to that shift state. And it's quite amazing. Yeah.
Ray?
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you very much for your sharing, and time is finished.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Have a beautiful festival. I love you. Ciao.